When Sandra's father asked his neighbor to move a car from their gate, he never imagined that one simple request would divide two families and teach an entire neighborhood a lesson about respect. They had no idea it would teach their children a lesson they would never forget. Sandra Williams was a 30-year-old girl who lived with her family in a quiet Nigerian neighborhood. Her family was not rich, but they were content. Mr. Williams worked tirelessly to provide food, pay rent, and make sure his children never lacked the necessities of life. Sandra had two brothers. Michael was 15 years old, while Daniel was 11. Although Daniel was younger than Sandra, the three siblings were very close and always looked out for one another. Just a few houses away lived the Davis family. Mr. Davis, his wife, and their 4 children were known throughout the neighborhood for one thing: they loved to show off. Whenever Mr. David bought something new, everyone will hear about it. Their children often boasted about their father's car, their large television, and the expensive things their parents bought for them. But despite all that, the kids still remained friends, especially Sandra and Kira. The Williams family usually ignored their boasting and minded their own business. One Saturday afternoon, Mr. Williams returned home only to discover that Mr. David has parked his car directly in front of his gate. The vehicle blocked the path he normally uses to enter and leave his compound. Trying to avoid trouble, Mr. Williams walked over and knocked on Mr. Davis's door. "Good afternoon, Mr. Davis," he said politely. "Please, could you move your car a little? It's blocking my entrance." Instead of apologizing, Mr. Davis frowned. "Why does it bother you so much?" he snapped. "It is blocking the way to my house," Mr. Williams replied calmly. Mr. Davis laughed. "Or maybe you're just jealous because you don't have a car." The words hit Mr. Williams like a slap. "What kind of statement is that?" he asked. What should have been a simple conversation quickly turned into a heated argument. Soon, Mrs. Williams rushed outside and persuaded her husband to return home before the situation became worse. But Mrs. David came outside and immediately sided with her husband. "My husband can park wherever he likes," she declared. The argument ended, but bitterness remained. For days, tension filled the neighborhood. Sandra and her brothers felt hurt by the way Mr. Davis treated their father. One morning, as Mr. Davis walked past their compound, Mrs. Williams greeted him respectfully. "Good morning, Mr. Davis." He ignored her and continued working. Sandra and her brother stood nearby. When they went back inside their house, their mother turned to them. "Why didn't you greet him?" Sandra frowned. "But Mom, after the way he treated Dad." Mrs. Williams shook her head. "My children, listen carefully. Problem between adults should remain between adults. Respect is not something you give only to people you like." The children exchanged glances. "If your father and Mr. Davis disagrees, that does not give you permission to be disrespectful," she continued. "Your character is reviewed by how you treat people when it is difficult, not when it is easy." The children nodded. From that day forward, they continued greeting Mr. Davis. Sometimes he responded, sometimes he did not, but they remained respectful. Unfortunately, the same could not be said for the Davis children. Mrs. Davis constantly reminded them how unfair the Williams family was. Slowly, the children began copying their parents' attitude. They stopped greeting Mr. Williams. They ignored Mrs. Williams. Kira stopped greeting Sandra and slowly began avoiding her altogether. The younger children followed the example of their older siblings. Before long, the children no longer played together. Although Sandra tried to act strong, she missed her friendship with Kira. The two girls had once spent time, hours, talking, laughing, and walking home from school together. Now, they barely spoke. Months passed. The friendship between the two families seemed completely broken. One rainy evening, 15-year-old Kevin Davis was riding his bicycle home after visiting a friend. As he entered the neighborhood, the road was slippery from the heavy rain. Suddenly, his bicycle skidded. Kevin lost control. Before he could recover, he crashed beside a drainage gutter and fell awkwardly into it. Pain shot through his leg. He tried to stand but couldn't. Rain poured heavily. Most people had already gone indoors. Kevin shouted for help, but no one heard him. Except Sandra. She had been returning from a nearby shop when she heard a faint cry. At first, she thought she had imagined it. Then she heard it again. "Help!" Sandra immediately ran towards the sound. When she reached the gutter, her eyes widened. Kevin! For a brief moment, Sandra remembered everything that had happened. She remembered the insults. She remembered being ignored. She remembered Kira turning away from her. But then she remembered her mother's words, "Never allow another person's behavior to change the goodness in your hearts." Without hesitation, she sprang into action. She called for her brothers. Michael and Daniel rushed over. Together, the three siblings carefully pulled Kevin out of the gutter and carried him to safety. They quickly informed his parents. Mr. and Mrs. David arrived in panic. Their son was rushed to the hospital and treated for his injuries. Thankfully, the injuries were not life-threatening. That night, Mr. Davis sat quietly beside Kelvin's hospital bed. For the first time in months, he found himself thinking deeply about everything that had happened. Then Kelvin spoke. "Dad," Mr. Davis looked up. "If Sandra and her brothers hated us the way we hated them, I don't know what would have happened to me." The word pierced his heart. For a moment, Mr. Davis said nothing. He remembered mocking Mr. Williams. He remembered refusing greetings. He remembered encouraging bitterness instead of peace. And now, the very family he had looked down on had saved his son. Shame filled his heart. The next morning, Sandra and her siblings came to visit Kevin and check on her friend Kira. When Mr. Davis saw her, he apologized to her and thanked her for saving his son. Mrs. Davis also apologized and thanked her wholeheartedly for saving Kevin. Mr. Davis personally apologized to his neighbor. "I was proud," Mr. Davis admitted. "I allowed a small disagreement to poison my family. Worse, I taught my children to carry grudges." He glanced towards Sandra, Michael, and Daniel. "But your children showed more maturity than I did." For a moment, neither man spoke. Then Mr. Williams smiled. "We all make mistakes. I hope you can forgive me." Mr. Williams extended his hand. "Of course." Then the two men shook hands. Tunnels that had divided the neighborhood for months finally came to an end. Soon afterwards, the children became friends again. One afternoon, Kira approached Sandra nervously. "I'm sorry," she said. "I should never have ignored you." Sandra smiled. "I missed my friend too." The two girls hugged and slowly rebuilt their friendship. The younger children returned to playing together. The neighborhood once again became a place of laughter instead of tension, and peace returned to the neighborhood.